Hello, everybody, and welcome to another roster change interview. This time joined by Cherryo and VaporishCoast of the Jade Dragons. Recent roster change vote removed from the Jade Dragons, and Coast picked up to replace him. How are you guys doing? How's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm having a
I'm
good
doing
day so far.
fantastic.
Nice. Play some chess, Cherry?
I turned everything at the back when I realized I had some stuff open. Yeah,
Uh,
it is off now.
okay. No, I just meant, did you play some chess and that was part of your good
Oh
day?
no, we were having scrims. We were talking after having some arguments. You know, the usual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was it a good scrim session? Were you ironing things out, or
No,
was it a rough one?
literally,
It's one,
just we were
dude.
literally still talking when you called us. I was like, okay, I gotta go now.
It's one of those days where everything's just kind of flat. You know, it
Yeah.
happens.
Well, I'm glad I saved you from that at least to do this. Made the roster
Thank you.
change last week, I suppose. Roster lock was coming into place. I think it was it Tuesday or Wednesday? And it seemed like you guys were kind of scrapping it together in the few days preceding that. I guess, Cherry, do you want to start off by talking about sort of the timeline of you guys deciding that you wanted to make a change and approaching people? When did you sort of decide that you needed to make a change for the Dragons to find success this year?
I think there was a conversation on Friday. Wait, Friday or Saturday? It was we played Fairman. We got reverse swept, right?
Yeah,
That's what
that was
happened, I
Friday, I
think.
think. Yeah.
And then we took Saturday off, and Mike had like a conversation with me, Lasper, and Dordas. Wasn't specifically about doing any changes yet. It was kind of about like venting a little bit about the environment in games and in scrims, and like I think our big problem. I've talked with this with Mike from the beginning of the year. I'd say like I felt like our biggest problem after kickoff. I felt pretty confident after kickoff. We lost to Warriors to what they were doing, and we lost belief in ourselves and the way we play, and the way specifically like Dardis plays as well.
Hmm.
Like we just lost belief in ourselves that we can win, and I kind of think that's been the main problem with our team the whole year. I'm not gonna lie, like belief that we can win. It wasn't that we couldn't win, or it's just like be on different pages and belief that we could win. And we had the conversation specifically about that, like maybe a little bit more in depth about like side lanes kind of being a bit too tilted sometimes, and not offering win conditions is kind of how I would say it. Like we didn't feel like we had enough win conditions, so we didn't believe we could win a lot of the time.
Hmm.
Without getting into like too much details, is just kind of think. I think it's just like true that that kind of has been a problem for a while, but we didn't leave the call saying like, yeah, we're gonna make a decision. We're gonna be like, okay, like let's just focus on tomorrow. Like, um, we'll talk with everyone after, regardless of how it goes. But obviously, it went pretty bad. Like we lost
3-2
three
loss to the
two.
Hounds again, right? But this one wasn't a reverse
Yeah,
sweep, at least. Small victories.
yeah. Like, and I think the environment was even worse than any other day. Like, it was maybe the worst we've had in an SPL set. It's just weird because I feel like we're stomping, right, and then just suddenly the environment gets really bad,
Hmm.
and then after that, what happened is Mike talked with me and he was like, I think we need to do something. Like this is he like asked me like DJ, I don't think we can win worlds with this, and like I think we can, but like he's like he kind of told me like it's my job to consider all the options. It's literally like our job to think of the best possible solution. So that's kind of why we had to go with it.
Hmm.
And yeah, from there on, I actually went to sleep. I talked with Nick. I told him he needs to stop being, his depressed self sometimes. He's kind of bringing the team down. And then I just went to sleep. I actually was not involved in any of the conversation with Coast until he joined, like at all. I didn't even talk to him. And maybe Coast can tell you more about what happened after since he was more involved in that.
Yeah, yeah. Coast, do you want to take up from there? Like you, I guess, got a message from, I would guess, Mike asking you if you'd be open to the move.
Yeah, I got a message from Mike like after he did the podcast, which I said
Oh,
he
yeah.
did the podcast with Neil.
Yep.
So he was sat there the whole time next to Neil. Like no one was gonna message me when he got back, which I think is kind of funny. But yeah, I spoke. He messaged me at like 10 p.m. and then I spoke to him on a call for like 20, 30 minutes, and like you can kind of tell from the message he sent, like I like knew I was gonna get an offer. So I was a bit like surprised at first. I was like, I didn't see it coming, of course. And it was weird because like I just beat them and I was like, it asked me to join now. So I
Yeah.
spoke like I told the guys quickly like I've got an offer. I didn't like think much of it at the time. I just kind of went to sleep and then I woke up and on the Monday I spoke to all the Dragons guys except Cherry. It was like a 2-hour call. I had quite a few questions there, and I think they like answered it really well. Like it kind of all my worries about joining, like especially like Nika and Dadas, they've been involved for so long. It's like
Mhm.
I was kind of worried like they didn't really want to do it, and it was gonna be like I don't know awkward for me to kind of fill in, but they
Yeah.
seemed really on board. Like it sucked for them because they're great friends, but they realized that something had to be done, and like something's just not going right. And yeah, Tuesday I spoke to the Hounds guys on the call, and I kind of knew like after I spoke to them, like I knew like the right thing was to leave. It's just I was kind of just I felt awful about it
Mhm.
because I love all the Hounds guys, and they gave me a chance to start the year like when pretty much every other SPL team said no to me. So I was really grateful for them, and I just had to come to terms with as much as this feels awful. It's just I think in terms of increasing my chances of winning, I just kind of have to do it.
Yeah. And then in terms of your move, I guess, Coast, I guess you did talk about this on stream a little while ago around the time, but you got a similar offer from the Leviathans, I believe, before they picked up Panda Cat.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through a little bit of what the reasoning was that you felt like this change was more right for you than the Leviathans change? Because you turned that one down, obviously.
Yeah. I guess like, at the time with Hounds like we just finished third at Masters
Mm.
and Quig left of course, but it would have felt bad. Like it was I suggested to pick up Neil. It was my idea to I brought his name up, and I think it in terms of like not leaving Hounds, it felt terrible for them. So like, hey, I think we should get this new support, and then we just like leave like a week or two later, get someone Neil out of retirement, and then just leave them with him. Maybe some of them didn't want him, but and Leviathans at the time as well. Like they were in a bit of a rough patch, and I believe their problems in Phase One wasn't like just from the outside looking in, this wasn't like an ADC issue. It was more like a frontline, like playing together thing. And I don't think an ADC can really fix that, but obviously they've looked a lot better with Panda, so good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes changes that maybe shouldn't affect something or shouldn't fix something, they do anyway. Just because a
Yeah.
change of environment can make a big difference. That's a thing that I talk about in like all of these interviews is a little change of environment means people try harder in scrims and focus more. And although you still have flat days, I guess, for you guys already, the honeymoon
Yeah,
phase already over.
Yeah. I think with our team, it's like if we don't gain scrims with like 100% direction, like what we want to do, we just go in really weird directions, and already it's really hard to keep someone like Dardis focused. Honestly, he wasn't a problem today, but it's usually hard to keep him focused. So you kind of need to have like, okay, we have a game plan. We're doing this game, so everyone's like engaging their brain. They're like, okay, I need to do this thing because otherwise people just play ranked and it ends up being a bit of a mess.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get you. You gotta have a goal for scrims to be productive sometimes.
Yeah.
Sorry, just jumping back a little bit here. You talked a little bit about approaching coasts on Sunday, or Mike approaching coasts on Sunday. Do you know if there was anyone else approached? Were there any other conversations had by Dragons players, or was it the only serious discussion, at least, coast?
For me, when I talked with Mike, it was like, if it's not Coast, I don't want anyone else. Like we just want Road, but the problem is we didn't know Road would want to play with us after him knowing that we were considering anyone else. Because I know for a person, I know he wouldn't like have enough the same trust in us anymore. And I don't know if the environment would have been weird. But if Vote knew that it was Coast, like if we asked someone else and he didn't want to play, it would have like asked Jarkor, maybe Snoopy, and like have Snoopy or ADC or something like that. It would have been we haven't really considered it that much. I think the way Mike saw it is he was mostly sure that Coast would say yes, basically, and I was just like, if Coast says no, I just want to play with Vote, is what I think all of us wanted. We just knew that Vote is still the best option for us. But it was kind of up to Vote at that point. Like, we were never going to force him. And then if Vote said no, then we'd have been scrambled to find someone else, basically, is what would have happened.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been I bet you're very glad you didn't have to go down that route of trying to Yeah,
Yeah,
replace
it was
your.
a very, very stressful 2 days just because obviously we all felt bad and then we also didn't know what was going on. That guy was taking way too long to give us an answer,
What?
I'm not gonna lie.
Dude.
Dude,
Uh,
he was taking so long. I
yeah,
like
dude.
it
I had
was
like
crazy.
I sounded for like a day, man. Like a day and a half at most. And
Yeah.
I had like a week with the Levi
Mhm.
decision, so I don't
Yeah.
think I
I
took
mean,
that long.
I get it. It felt long for us because it was just a
Oh
stressful
yeah, I
thing
get
because
it.
I didn't know what to tell Vote. Like it was just hard like to be put in that situation. Not your fault, obviously. It's just sucks. It's just a shady situation for all of us, really.
Yeah, these roster changes. Rarely does everybody come out feeling super happy about everything. It's not really how these things go. I guess let's talk about what's happened post the change. You guys obviously had a really good result on Sunday, 3-0 win against the Leviathans. Was that something that came expected for you guys? Were you feeling like a lot better out of the after the change? Was practice going significantly better, or did going into that set and kind of starting off with such a big bang? I guess I'll ask you this, Cherry. Did that kind of surprise you that you came in with such a big win straight away?
No, I don't know. Surprised. I was definitely surprised by how Coast played because I've never played with him before.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting him to like be good, but I think the main difference is he's just like we kind of maybe just liked like another voice that's just like assertive in comms and like an FG and at sieges is like just do this, do that. I can kill this guy. Target calling stuff like that. Like um, I think that was the main thing where you like I felt the difference of in these games. Like him just telling people to like just don't do this, just wait for my active, wait for my ult. That kind of it's kind of stuff like I just think can win you games in important games. Basically, like at Worlds, like telling your team like just to chill till your relics is up could just win you a game. For
Mm-hmm.
example, I was just kind of like he did it a couple times in that set, and calling the end on game 3, for example, like Mike was saying, let's just do FG, and coach was just saying like we can just end the game, dude. Like they're not gonna kill me. Like just go end.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff like that is what I felt the most. Am I surprised with 3-0? No, I kind of know we know exactly the way they want to play, and I was confident Dota's kind of hatching to his not like number, but I just knew like Dota's we're prepared for like the set. We would be prepared for the Baba Yaga. Like we talked a little bit about it. I think everyone also just played with a lot more energy and focus, so that helps. So you just like if this should be the best set we have in terms of like energy, environment, and focus. Like maybe not like in terms of draft because we only had 3 scrims, but like everyone's just trying their best that day. So
Yeah, everyone
I'm
putting their best
I'm
foot forward,
happy.
right?
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but like I'm very happy with how it went. Like yeah.
And Coast, is your first time playing with the team. I feel like, in particular, game one on the Anher, you had a bit of a monster performance. You were kind of in that flow state, I feel like, where everything was just coming off. Um, how did you find playing with the team for the first time? Do you feel like that was one of your best performances this year so far, or was that just another day for Coast?
I mean, usually when it comes to World's Time, my performance is just like I don't know. I just play better at World's Time for whatever
Mm-hmm.
reason. So it should be kind of consistent at this point. Those kind of performances. But yeah, I was surprised with like we won, but like I was surprised with, like how clean it was,
Mm-hmm.
and like I was really happy with like how people like respected like my calling and stuff like that. I was like, obviously I felt like might be hard for me to slot in. I don't want to like just take over comms or like speak too much or too little. I was kind of just I tried to do as I would if I was on Hounds, and it was just really nice how like people would listen to me, and like when they did listen to me, like it just went well. So really good for like confidence and things like that.
Yeah, it feels good to get started with a win. Good thing to build on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Coast actually apologized after that set for talking too much and being like hype and comms, and I was like, this
Dude, I
guy's so
get I
dumb.
get I get excited, man.
Yeah, and I was like,
I get
don't apologize. Like I think that's what we need. Like I think we're too like we need the confidence, we need the win conditions and the energy. So like I don't know why he was apologizing.
yeah.
Dumb.
It's good to watch as well. I like the energy. It's fun to see on the broadcast and things like that. I guess one of the painful things about roster changes, especially now that people live together on LAN and we're all living out in Georgia. Well, I say we. I'm not, and Cherry's not, but you are, Coast. Is the difficulty of roster changes when it comes to housing situations. What is it that you guys are doing now? Is Vote going to be moving out the house? Is Coast going to be moving in, or is there something else happening?
I'm with Neil and Chuck right now, and
Mhm.
I thought it's going back at some point. So they want me to move, and like I'm happy to. It's just I don't know if Neil and Chuck how to get someone to be able to move in with them. So it's like it's not like I want to like fuck dragons over because they're gonna be down someone paying rent. But I agree to live with Neil and Chuck, So I don't want to like give them extra rent to pay. So it's kind of just if we can get someone to move in with Neil and Chuck, and sure I'm happy to move, but don't really see them in the world if I can't.
Not a solved problem yet, then, I guess. Okay, cool. Yeah,
No,
maybe Jangaru or someone. I don't know if he's. I don't know what's going on with him. Yeah, maybe that'll be the solution. What else did I want to ask? I'm looking at my notes. I don't think I've missed anything really. Final mystery question that I haven't made up yet, but it will be fun, is the final item on the notes, which I still haven't made up yet, but it will be fun. I guess Coast, what's the looking at the Dragons team from the outside looking in, like you obviously weren't on the team until now. Was there something you came in with an idea that you wanted to change in the team? Was there anything that you saw when you played against them that maybe you exploited, or was there anything that you were like immediately when you joined, or even in that conversation that you had on the Monday or the Tuesday with the Dragons boys, you were like, what's with this? How are you going to fix it?
Yeah, I was just worried about like mentality, because they get like I was like, dude, these guys get reverse sweep like all the time. Like, there's gotta be something up with that. So it's like one of the big things I asked was like, guys, is this actually a thing, or like, what's going on? But I feel like what they wanted me to bring was like kind of like how Fred was like on the Warriors last year. It's like just a lot more energy, just help people feel good. I think like just when someone does something good, or like when I do something good, it's like if someone tells me like, dude, that was really good, like it's just good for confidence, It helps build momentum in a set. So yeah, I think I just wanted to help us not get reverse sweeped and just make everyone feel better in terms of mental and stuff.
That is actually something I missed a little bit from my notes. Is I wanted to ask Cherry, like, I mean, this is going all the way back to, I guess, Renegades Worlds reverse sweep versus SK. We were both a part of that, actually.
Unfortunately.
And I feel like the reverse sweeps have been a constant for you, Nika, Dardes, Vote since then. Do you feel like it's a genuine thing and it's not just a coincidence?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I remember, like, I had a talk with Mike. I was like, I actually don't know if it's a problem or if it's like, because it's obvious from the outside, like, dude, this team gets reverse swept. There got to be something. But I'm like trying to think about it. Like, is it actually like the environment? And it's hard to kind of pinpoint. Like, it would be easy to just say like that's just a problem. We just got to get rid of that. I do think the energy in the environment just like I sort of remember Game 5 of Renegades. Like, I didn't feel like we're winning that game like after 5 minutes, and that you can't have that in a real game. It's just something with the environment and the energy, and I just kind of like want people to like I've legit sometimes a lot this year just said like, okay, I don't want to have gold on our bars. I don't want to look at kills. Like, I just want you guys to like look at the comp and just be like, can we win these fights and just play. But I think a lot of the times like we start losing. It's like the worst way to lose. You're just losing. It's like 0-0 and you're like 3K down because you're just not doing anything. And I feel like that's a lot of the time what happens. Like, I actually don't. Okay, maybe I should care, but like I care a lot more about these losses than the losses where we like can't end the siege, because I feel like I can actually work on that even though we haven't fixed it. But I feel like at least there's something to work on. But when the games you're just like you're doing nothing, no one's making plays, and we're just losing, that's like the worst way to lose. And I feel like that's what like every game 5 we've had, it's just bad. Like, it's not even like in my opinion, like other than the SSG one, like game 5 after that, when I watched the Oni boys as well after like the last 2 years, they're just not actually in a winning position and they're throwing. They're just never got in a winning position in the game 5. And I do think this team just copes a lot in draft. After, like, even when I was on the team, after we lose, it's always like our draft was bad. And then you're like, yeah, if we just fix this one thing, it's fine. And then we like kind of cope on the wrong things. Like, obviously, like the infamous Paul getting more than 5 games in a row. Like, I don't know how that happened against us. Paul won all his 3 Scylla games against us as well somehow. Like, why give him Scylla 3 games in a row? Stuff like that. It's just coping. Like, no, that's not the problem. It's this thing. Let's focus on that. I just think very reactionary after games, and I think that's like what we need to focus on. Like, just keep playing our playstyle and actually look at what the problems are. But it's hard to figure it out. I don't know why it happens. I actually still till now don't know. Like, I guess I talked with it a lot with the team. Like, not everyone, just like the people who didn't get affected by bringing it up. Honestly, I don't know why it happens. Like I don't know the Ferryman one. Don't know why it happened before in Only Warriors. I don't know. So I actually don't know. It's kind of maybe my job to figure it out. But I don't know why reverse sweeps happen against us other than like environment things.
Yeah. They're some of the most painful games to watch back and try and analyze as well as those those ones where, especially at Worlds time, you've gone up and you've ended up losing. It's tough. It's tough to learn from those, other than learn how much it hurts to lose, I guess.
Yeah, I think that like you just gotta look at Reddit and Twitch chat and figure out. Maybe they'll know.
Yeah, they'll tell you. Why pick Tree
they
every
haven't.
game, as I have ingrained into my memory from Season 3. It's a classic.
Yeah, it is hard to figure it out. Maybe Coach will let us know from the outside. But even watching from the outside, when I was not with Warriors the last 2 years, I didn't know why they're getting reverse swept. So who knows, man?
Yeah. Well, didn't get reverse swept on Sunday. 2-0 into
Broke the
3-0.
curse. We broke the curse.
So, and even with an Afro support, I mean, it's everything. It's everything you needed, really. All the curses broken.
That was not the problem, man. Okay. Copium. Okay, I actually think that god is just really good. I just think we sucked with it. So maybe it'll be better now.
It did cook. It did cook in those games 2 and 3 this weekend. But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to ask. Is there anything you guys would like to add on the end? Any shout-outs you like to give, or anything you'd like to say to people? Maybe don't harass people at Worlds about the picks that they just lost with. That's my
yeah. Ideally,
request.
pretend the games never happened. If you lost, just don't talk about the games. It's very demoralizing. It's like asking why did you not beat this Athena talent and stuff like that? Like, oh, how does it feel losing or getting reverse swept 2 years in a row? Like, yeah, I don't want to answer that.
Yeah, don't ask me that. Especially because I'm an analysis guy, so I won't have lost. Coast, anything from you?
Dude, I need the power rankings, man. I feel like my stock's kind of high right now, so.
I was planning on doing them this week, so
perfect.
Keep an eye out. Maybe Thursday evening, I think. This is gonna go up, and then I was planning on doing a demo review, and then that on Thursday evening. But yeah, it's fine. I don't need to have a life, so I'll get it done. I think that's it.
Might is life.
Yeah, exactly.
At
least for this year. Thanks very much for watching, everybody, and thanks for coming along, Cherry and Coast. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you all next time. Love you guys. Bye.
Love you.